Hi, my name is Beth Azor, and I own shopping centers in South Florida. And this is my podcast, I Own a Shopping Center, Now What?
So in the last 2 weeks, I've gotten 2 calls from owners of properties who have vacancy that has been vacant for a very long time, and they cannot find a broker that will do what it takes to lease the vacancies. So you guys know by now what my first answer is, well, you do it. And in both of these situations, the owners of the shopping centers have W-2s, so they really can't. Now, I do think that they could possibly do something on the weekends, maybe canvas or DM on Instagram and Facebook, but I understand full-time job, family, that's going to be difficult to do. So, but the reason I like you guys to do it yourself is you'll understand and appreciate how hard it is, and you'll learn certain things, and you will care more. Like, even if all you did was take one Saturday, if in one of the situations the space was empty, has been empty for 2 years. So if this particular person, I said, take your kids with you. I used to take my son in his baseball uniform prospecting and canvassing. So let's say one Saturday a month or one Sunday a month, you personally went out and spent 3 or 4 hours and handed out 30 or 40 flyers. I promise you, in probably 3 months, you would have that space vacant. On top of the unbelievable market intel that you would get yourself. So, and the question is, if you hired a broker, would he have at least in 3 months? Highly unlikely, because it really takes brokers a couple, 2 to 3 months to get their arms around the property, the market, et cetera. And since you own the shopping center, I think that you're not distracted. Brokers have 30 other listings. You don't. You're all in. So I highly, highly recommend you to try to do it yourself. But if that's impossible, let's say you don't live in the market, or you have 2 full-time jobs, you have 6 kids, you have a parent that's sick, that's an impossibility that you can't do it, then one of the recommendations I gave this week was to, and this person had been through a few different commercial brokerage firms, and I think he said at one point he went to the best brokerage firm in town and asked them to put their junior on it. And that didn't happen. He believes that they just took the listing and were waiting for leads on LoopNet and CoStar. Unfortunate. So what I suggested he do is he find the best residential real estate brokerage in town and go into that office, ask to see the broker, and ask if they have a young, hungry, and it doesn't have to be young, but a hungry kind of newbie, like someone that's new in residential, that doesn't have a huge book of business making $1 million a year or $500,000 a year selling houses, but someone that is maybe just got their license a year ago and is trying to make their way. That person is hungry. And that person, if you say, I'll hire him or her and put him on my shopping center listing. However, I require them to do 50 to 100 prospecting calls a week. Well, that junior broker in the resi office doesn't know that commercial brokers, most of them don't do that. Like when you hire a commercial brokerage firm, most likely not many people in that firm canvass or prospect to the extent that it would take to lease this space, okay? Most of them do put up a sign and wait for the phones to ring, unfortunately. But a junior agent in a resi office, they're just going to be so happy that they have something to do. So that's what was my advice. I think he said he might do it. And I will get back to you and let you know how it works. I think that that's what I used to do when I would have third-party assignments in markets that were not my own. I would go to the local brokerage house that was the top residential brokerage like branch in the town. And I would go and give them 50 or 100 or 300 flyers from our shopping center in the town. And usually they were small towns. That's why I didn't live there. Like, one was outside of Tampa, an hour. And I'd say, I'll give any of your agents $1 a square foot. So if it was 3,000 square feet, in this particular space, our shopping center that I was hired to lease, was 20% occupied. So there was a crap ton of vacancy. And so we went to 3 different brokerage houses, dropped off flyers because we were only going once a month. So we said, if any of your brokers, residential brokers, bring us a deal, you don't even have to work the deal. I'll pay $1 a square foot. So $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, maybe today, if your loan's coming due or you're trying to get a refinancing and you really want to get those spaces leased, offer $3 a square foot. And maybe that is what will, look, if you get a 3,000 square foot space leased and you pay $9,000, but you get $20 times 3 is 60, right? 60,000. Is that right? Yeah, $60,000 divided by, a 10 cap would be 600 of value. So it's probably less than a 10 cap. So of course you could afford to give a residential broker $10,000, and they, I believe, are going to hustle a little more because they don't know any better. They're thinking they got to have open houses, which I think is good too, to have open houses at shopping centers. So I think hiring residential brokers could be your answer if you have 1 or 2 vacancies in a property that's not in your home market. So my first recommendation is do it yourself. My second recommendation is get a residential junior broker, junior agent, and offer, $2 a square foot or something to get them interested. I hope this helps, but I'm getting this question a lot. So I just felt it was I know I've spoken about it in the past, but I keep hearing the 2 calls just this week about this topic. So yeah, I would do it myself. But if you can't, hire the junior resi agent. Hope this helps. If you like the podcast and you're on social, tell people about it, like it, share it, subscribe, and all that jazz. Talk to you soon.